Hello, friends. We're going to get back into things if you want to come grab your seats. Somebody maybe want to stick their head out the door and see if anyone is loitering. Thank you. Yeah. While we wait for a couple of people that might be outside enjoying the wonderful wet season, just a reminder as well that another event that's coming up soon is Asbestos Awareness Week from the 23rd to the 29th of November. The theme for Asbestos Awareness Week 2020 is Asbestos Lurks in More Places Than You'd Think. So it supplements the sub-theme before you start, be aware. So there's some flyers around the place for that, but otherwise if you go to asbestossafety.gov.au, you'll find the campaign pack. And that's on from the 23rd to the 29th of November. So if anyone's doing things in their communities, that would be awesome. And also, if you're somebody who has been getting a little bit of headaches on the lights, we found that the best spot to sit is at the back tables. So the further back you sit, the less impact, if that's something that people are currently experiencing. The lights help the cameras see the people who are talking up here. But if we have people presenting on the screens, what we'll do is we'll dim those lights again just to help with everybody's eyes, because they're important. Great. Good. Now that we've got that out of the way, my friends, it is time for another one of our presentations and another person joining us online via the power of Zoom. So what I'm going to get you to do is give a really warm Darwin welcome to this next presenter, presenting to us the topic around climate change and some of those projects and ideas around that area. From ANAMISE, our solar engineering consultant, can you please put your hands together and welcome online Alexander Robinson. And checking, Alexander, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you very well. Can you hear me as well?
Yeah, you sound absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to hand it over to you. It's all your turn.
All right, thank you everybody, and a very warm welcome to you all, officially from Sydney, but as you can see from my background, I'm standing at the beautiful Berry Springs waterfall, one of the most lovely places in the whole world, and right here in the Northern Territory where you guys are today, one of my favorite places, and it's actually where our journey begins. I'll just jump out of that screen share for a second, and you can see that beautiful background behind me. All right, and jumping back in. Our journey begins in 2015 when I was first working for somebody in Bondi Junction. You may know Bondi Beach. A lot of rich people live there. It's one of the most affluent places in Australia. And I was working for a solar finance investor who was looking to make solar investments throughout Australia where they would sell power onto the end user. This is called a power purchase agreement. And it is an excellent way to get renewable energy into a lot of LGAs. However, what I'm going to share with you today is that exact knowledge that people use when they're creating those power purchase agreements to decide on aspects such as system size, orientation, and tilt of your solar panels, your big solar array, so that when you are looking to procure your own solar system for your own council, whether it be a pool, a library, or of course, a waste management facility, which often has very large electricity bills and would benefit greatly from solar energy, we're going to share with you that knowledge so you can do it yourselves, or you can enter a power purchase agreement where you will be bringing on somebody else to purchase that solar system for you. The first site that I ever used this knowledge for that I'm sharing with you today was Berry Springs IGA. And I hope you can all see in this slide. Can I just get a confirmation that you can see the PowerPoint in the background? Okay.
Yep, all good.
Yep. Excellent, excellent. So as you can see here, this is a top view of Berry Springs IGA, where the solar panels have been installed. And there's a photo of me touring that place last year on my wedding. Just after my wedding, we went to the Northern Territory for our honeymoon. So that was great to visit this site. That's so important to us. And what does our company do, and why were we so important to this project? Well, our mission is to promote an analytical approach to sustainable design. And we'll get into why this is so important. Because as many of you may have already tried to invest in renewable energy within your LGA, or just explored those ideas, or maybe you haven't even looked at it before, or you've done some sites and there's others that you would still like to do, there are many barriers to the uptake of renewable energy. Some of those are knowledge, are dedicated human resources. So some LGAs are lucky and they might have, I think Sydney City Council has 40 people dedicated to the climate change, to the area of climate change just in that one LGA alone. However, another our biggest LGA in Australia is actually the Canterbury Bankstown LGA. And in this particular area, they only have 3 people. So even the largest LGA in Australia only has 3 people dedicated to this part of combating climate change. And I understand in a lot of LGAs, this kind of gets grouped into a whole sustainability team, which often falls onto the waste management team. And even if you are not able to approach this from a full council, we'll go from a full LGA perspective, we'll go into even just in a waste facility, how you can install renewable energy for your benefits. So that was the dedicated human resources are a barrier. Finance and budget approval are also a barrier, which we will show you how to overcome today. If you've ever proposed a project and people on the board of your council have said, oh, we haven't got the money for it, well, we'll be going into that as well, because there's always money available from governments. It's just about putting forward a strong business case so that project gets approved. And finally, the operational capacity. I think solar in general is very easy to get installed when you speak to the right installation teams, many of which will be in the Northern Territory. And you can go to the Clean Energy Council website to look up your best local installers to get solar installed. A lot of the times where there could be hiccups is times where, because it's a large purchase, perhaps a tender process has to be in place. And of course, that takes time and energy to put in writing up a request for quotation or a tender request document, and then going through that tender approval process, selecting winners, which again, we'll show you how to do. Let's first think about going back to what our software does. And our software is called Oxen S4, which helps you do all these things. Let's take an example of 2 different sites where an LGA owns those sites and they're looking to install renewable energy. One example would be a park. One example would be a public swimming pool. And you can think, how do these 2 places use electricity differently? The park, it has lighting mainly for the night. Not much electricity is used in a park during day. Whereas a swimming pool has water constantly pumping through it. Perhaps it has a heating system. And both pumping water and heating require a lot of energy. In this particular example, it's a real life case study that we'll be comparing, where the park electricity cost was 17 cents per kilowatt hour in the day, where the swimming pool electricity cost was a whopping 51 cents per kilowatt hour. This is in the Northern Queensland area, so the Ergon Energex grid. If you have a look at these 2 graphs, it shows you from an analytical point of view how solar can impact on the sites differently. You see the blue line on each of the charts shows the load profile, how electricity is being used for those sites. Whereas the green and the red lines show when solar is being produced during that day. One of the sites, the park, doesn't use any electricity when the sun is shining. Yet the one on the right uses electricity through the whole day, so it can take a good benefit from that solar system being installed. What our software does, it goes into a great detail of comparing the time that electricity is used using electrical load data and the time when electricity is generated using both historical recordings from the Bureau of Meteorology and theoretical calculations about the sun position, the array system size, orientation, and tilt. And you can see by comparing two of these sites that on the park, they only used 1% of the solar produced, while the swimming pool used 92% of the solar produced. And finally, we have this graph which shows that over a 3-year period, installing solar at the swimming pool would have saved $107,597, which is an excellent saving. For waste facilities that we have done this data analysis for in the past, over a 20-year period, we can expect up to a $7 million amount of savings for a waste facility, even after loan repayments for big waste facilities. This is for this is for waste facilities with big electricity bills. But even any waste facilities will benefit greatly from renewable energy being installed. What this graph also shows us is how much money can expect to be saved based on different system sizes. This means that if you're trying to figure out, all right, how many solar panels should I install? You can use this software that compares the electrical load of your site, such as your waste facility, to all different potential solar systems you could install. And it will show you, to save the most money, which size solar system you should be installing. We also do this for things such as tilt and orientation. For example, you can imagine some sites that use electricity in the afternoon. One example that we've done in Northern Territory is Darwin squash courts. Darwin squash uses a lot of electricity in the evening or the afternoon sessions. So it is a lot more beneficial for them to either be installing solar on a westerly tilt so that you can make use of that afternoon sunshine, or installing a smaller solar system size to only cover that daytime load, which was their option in that case. Generally, when we're pitching to councils, we provide a solar optimization package to make sure that this tool is used productively and that you get the end results of getting solar installed in a quick, time-efficient manner, and that you're getting those financial savings as well as environmental savings in mitigating greenhouse gases as soon as possible. Our package includes the solar optimization tool, Oxen S4, extensive technical business support, our advanced solar design course, as well as our consulting services to run this software based on your own electrical load profiles for your different sites, as well as creating these reports and that can be presented to your finance team and to your other executives within council for approval. Here is a fantastic testimonial from a LGA in a tropical area that we've worked with before, Townsville City Council. They've said the energy system solution that we've developed was customized to suit our needs, as well as easily adjusted to change electricity cost structures. The solution was also able to be updated when needed, either by ANAMISE or ourselves. The open protocol nature of this solution provides greater value than the sum of the parts, as well as being a solution that currently doesn't exist on the market. One of the best things about our tool is that it does come in this open source kind of framework where we're giving you an Excel worksheet as well as a Word document that anyone who uses Excel or Word can easily change themselves, as well as apply to different applications. We will get into a different application that Townsville used to modify the software after. But first, I want to give a very special offer exclusive to the Elegant 2020 Waste Symposium that we've never given to anyone before. And instead of retailing this software today for $16,500, we will be providing every LGA here in attendance with a free trial to our Oxen S4 solar optimization software. All you need to do is open up your phone right now and go to this link, which I would highly recommend, anamise.com.au/views/Elgant 2020.php. I'll give everybody 1 minute to get open your phone and go to this link so you can fill out the form, enter your contact details, and and then you will receive an email with the Excel spreadsheet, the Word document, and an instruction manual so that you can trial this software in your own time. You could use it. What you will need after that is to get your electrical load profile, your electricity expenses, and then just enter that data into the software tool, and it will be able to give you a very accurate financial forecast and optimization process to show the best solar system design for your waste facility. And as I've said before, this tool has demonstrated savings of up to $7 million over 20 years for waste facilities at our other customers' facilities, such as Townsville City Council. If there's any questions during this time, I will go to questions now as people are heading across to this link to download the free trial. Could we go to questions if anybody has any current questions, please?
Absolutely. Are there any questions in the room, friends? They're thinking about it at the moment, if that helps you for the visual of it, Alexander. They're just having a think. Most of them are on their phones, so that's...
Excellent, excellent. Well, that's the most important thing, because this trial is only going to be up for today and tomorrow. And once the Elegant Waste Symposium ends, we'll be taking down the link. So make sure that you can get it right now so you don't forget.
Yeah, feel free to take a photo of it. It helps you get that website. Any questions, my wonderful symposium? No? Yes. Oh, look, there is one. Here we go. Figure if you just wait long enough.
Yeah.
Hold on, Alexander. I'm just walking to the end of the room. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Yana. I work for 5 councils in the Northern Territory. So I'm wondering, with the modeling that you do, because we're remote and from time to time really, really dry, there's a lot of dust on solar panels. And I was wondering if there's a way to, like, do you incorporate those sort of things in your modeling?
Yes, definitely. So we have a part of the software that will give a efficiency kind of measure, and that's set at 82% currently when you open up the model, which takes into account soiling of the panels. So if you leave that at its current efficiency when you open it up, it should be fine taking that into account. So generally, like, that's the overall system efficiency, not the efficiency of the solar panels themselves, but compared to the rating of the solar panels. Say one solar panel might be rated 300 kilowatt peak. After the soiling itself from the dust should decrease the output of the solar panels by 5%. If it's heavy dust. And then other things that also takes into account would be things such as conversion losses, such as changing the electricity from DC from the solar panels to AC electricity being used at the site, as well as things just like losses through the cables, such as heat losses. So it definitely takes that into account. Any other questions? Oh, does that answer your question? Sorry, I just want to clarify if that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome, awesome, thanks.
Any further questions, friends? No? In which case, could we please put our hands together and thanks
Oh,
Alexander
I'm not finished yet.
Robinson
I'm not
for that?
finished yet.
Oh, you haven't finished yet? No.
No,
Oh.
not finished yet. Just was
Oh.
opening up that for questions in the middle.
Ah, okay. Well, I'm going to stop talking then and let you continue.
All right, awesome, awesome. So we are not just, although solar is our first and primary strength, and that's the first tool that we come into play with for using our energy optimization tools, we have also branched out to other areas. And one of the examples that we were talking about with Townsville City Council previously was because the software is an easy to use open source manner, it can be changed for different applications. So one thing in tropical areas that Townsville was interested in, which I know other tropical councils, as well as I think even Southern Northern Territory councils would even greatly benefit from this, is implementing reflective roofs. So this is roofs with reflective paint. And how did we come into this area? Well, a lot of research has already been done about the effectiveness of reflective roofs in decreasing temperatures of buildings. So like in tropical areas, air conditioners are often on for the whole year as our buildings need to be cooled down regularly, especially in larger offices, hotels, and other kind of commercial facilities. Although it was known these buildings would be cooled down, no financial modeling actually existed to create a strong business case to be able to get funding approved for painting LGA buildings with reflective paints. We put together a tool to demonstrate the impacts of the gain and loss of heat throughout the building and how this would decrease the energy loads, particularly from the air conditioners. And this resulted in a 2-year payback period for this particular case. Our vision is to provide any LGA with energy aspirations of decreasing their energy through energy efficiency or replacing their energy with renewable energy, with the business cases backed by data and financial models to be able to get this approved quickly by the executive team at your LGA. If you have coming up with any objections from your executive team, we want to help you overcome them, whether it's financial. Maybe a good business case would be to take out a loan facility to invest in renewable energy or energy efficiency measures. Now, people often have negative connotations about loan facilities. The only way that money is actually created in Australia is by banks taking out loan facilities from the Reserve Bank, or by the Reserve Bank buying government bonds. So it is essential that the Australian government take out loan facilities to create an actual economy and create actual money for the Australian economy to function. Now, I'm not saying go out and get a loan and spend it on anything crazy. I'm saying that for strong business cases like this, where the loan repayment is less than the amount of money you would be saving by investing in these measures, you are creating a positive cash flow to your LGA and increasing a positive cash flow benefit to your LGA and increasing both your local economy through hiring local workers and businesses to create to build these renewable energy investments and energy efficiency measures, as well as pushing more money through the Australian economy, which is extremely important at a time like this where Australia has entered a recession. So it's very important for everybody who has access to this tool to use it and push for these business cases to go forward, both to minimize the impacts of greenhouse gases and the effects of climate change throughout the world, as well as increase and improve the Australian economy. So it's also very important for general environmental impacts, where different types of non-renewable energies can have bad local impacts, such as poor air pollution, and which leads to respiratory disease and other illnesses. You're extremely lucky to live in a beautiful place where there's clear water facilities like the one beside me, behind me. Please put in your best efforts to make sure that the environment is kept in a safe and pure, pristine way. And this can only happen with action being taken to promote sustainable actions by people such as yourselves working in LGAs. Make sure you download this tool, give it a test run, and if you have any problems or issues, call me immediately. I will be on the phone with you straight away to give you a walkthrough of the software. Finally, one last chance to get a photo or write down this link and go to it right now before this presentation ends. And I will just check if there's any last questions going ahead.
Cool. Oh, yeah, we do have a question.
Go ahead. Yes.
Beat you to it. Too fast.
Hi, Alexander. Thanks for the presentation. I just had a question regarding the reflective roofs that you were talking about. We did a study a couple of years back in Alice Springs,
Yes.
painting the roof white and then testing the inside temperatures. And what we found was that it actually didn't make any difference if there was insulation.
Yes.
It is fine for barns and roofs which do not have a false floor, a false roof. But when there is good insulation, it actually only acted as a placebo. People who painted their roofs white started saying that, oh, it was beautifully cool when we came back from school in the afternoon, but our temperature logger showed no difference as before.
Yeah.
And so, yes, it did make a difference. They did not put the air conditioning on because they thought it was cooler, but actually it wasn't. So I'm just interested in finding out how you found the role of good insulation vis-a-vis cost of painting the roof with these reflexive paints, because the cost of insulation was far less and it benefited both in summer and winter, whereas the painting the roofs white or with reflective paint would actually work better in summer.
Yes, thank you very much for that question. That comment actually, I guess it's like not really a comment, but it's more not really a question, but it's more a comment. And it's very important to when you're running the reflective roof tool software, there is a part in it that decides whether the roof is thermally thin or not. And we basically have a calculation, and I can send through the research that we've done to figure this out on when a roof is considered thermally thin and when the painting it with reflective paint will be of benefit. So that is something that we do take into consideration, and we've we've created formulas to specifically identify the thermodynamics at play during this process and identify which roofs themselves will be the ones that benefit most from this process and by how much. So as you said, some roofs don't benefit from it, and our modeling will show those roofs that don't benefit from it. So thank you for bringing that up, because it's like an excellent point. And I do want to connect with you to learn more about your research throughout Alice Springs, and to perhaps incorporate some of that knowledge that you guys have gained with our tool, and we can give you the research that we've done on this process regarding those calculations. So I'll get probably through Meredith, I'll get hopefully your contact details, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you. Thank you.
Right.
Does that answer your question? Or yeah, is that a good response?
Yep, there's a nod.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Well, my friends, can we please put our hands together and thanks Alexander Robinson?
Thank you very much, guys. Have an excellent day. Bye-bye.
Cheers, Alexander. Take care.